the draft real interesting for playing against Arja in future, because it feels like the Gragas is sort of unanswerable, right? Especially with the Gnar ban in second phase, and that's something that potentially if there is an Impunity PSG rematch later on, you'd have to think about. But here we are, heading into Game 5. Will we see PSG complete the reverse sweep, follow in CFO's footsteps, or are Impunity going to stop them in their tracks? We're about to find out.
We absolutely are, and I think the most action we probably will see in this game is honestly likely to be bot side, but again, I feel like you have a lot of setup against the Gragas now to potentially look for even more punishing sort of top lane matches up. And last game we saw Driver get solo killed early in this matchup, and I don't think we'll see that again here. So likely to start on better footing than last game did. And you have to think, after how the last two games have gone, he's very likely to find himself an advantage again.
Should do, yeah. Some interesting choices coming out for the Rune, especially in mid. So we have the first strike for the Victor, which I think... Ooh, actually, Mission. He's in trouble.
In trouble, yeah.
He's going to have to flash.
CC at the moment, but will have to flash away, as we see now more trading happening bottom as well, but losing that flash level 1, it's so easy now to gank that Victor. You have a nice setup on Syndra already, as well as Mission now starting the lane so low on health.
Yeah, it's really a rough start to the lane. I think Victor in this lane needs to play very aggressive in order to keep up with the trades, but losing the flash, losing the corrupting pots, it's going to be difficult for him. So I think early lanes, should probably go the way of PSG, at least on mid and bot. Although the bot matchup, it's always one that Zerululu kind of wins, at least in the first couple levels, and then perhaps, kind of goes the other way after Lucian does get that first base.
Yeah, but with that trade that happened in River, it looks like, for this game at least, it will be the opposite, because Nature got so low. And so Lucian Nami getting the push early, this probably spells a lot of problem for the side of Impunity, as level 2 first for the Lucian. He will be able to just dash at you, and you don't have an answer. Trying their best. They do hit level 2 just before PSG, but ultimately push still in favor of Wako and Woody down here in the bottom lane, as Driver actually losing out on the trades early this game. Not what we're used to seeing, honestly.
Yeah, I wonder what happened, what changed in the top matchup. Did he have to leash or something compared to the last game? I'm not totally
he did
sure.
Leash red, but we see Alex now getting Junjir actually really low, but Yubao obviously having prio will find the stun. It looks like first blood will go down to Junjir, and already PSG starting off this game 5 where they left off.
Yeah, extremely rough start here for Impunity, and you're kind of seeing the weakness of this mid jungle.
Ooh, Driver is ghosting. Azi will commit the flash. A lot lower cooldown on the ghost, so possibly something to exploit there as the game progresses. And Alex holding on to that flash bot lane, probably not ideal.
And we'll see. So Alex, he looks for Junjir, gets nice initial trade with the Aftershock, but chooses to overstay a bit too long. And without the mid priority he's so used to having from Mission, is just stunned out by Yubao and can't quite flash over the walls. So yeah, I mean, we're kind of seeing the problem, right? If you pick the Victor into Syndra, it's for that isolated 1v1, but how can you push the lane when you lose your flash? It's so difficult, and it's not like Sejuani Victor is a particularly threatening 2v2 either. Sure, it scales well together, but I don't know, it's kind of questionable, I think, to be picked up here from Impunity, and certainly not the best execution either.
All right, Mission now will recall and likely teleport back to base. Actually, Yubao trying to stop it. Will find the stop there as being a bit of a nuisance. Same is going to happen top, actually. PSG just being really annoying to both these solo laners of Impunity. And with how the game's already started, we're almost at a 1k gold lead for PSG already. It almost feels like it's time to start perhaps looking towards Driver to get him even further ahead, as Alex is up here. Azi, no flash available. Will spot out Alex on the ward, so should be playing knowing that, there is a chance of dying.
He's taking a lot of damage here, but should be fine. The CS top is definitely closer than it's been the last 2 times, so maybe it is just the leash difference up here in top. And both mids pretty much out of mana. Zubao is going to try and make sure this wave goes in. And credit to Mission, I think, while has certainly suffered from the level 1, wasn't able to get the priority to help Alex, has managed to find himself pretty much even in this lane, which is, very good, I think, considering your start. Ball end as well. It is now the Dirk for Wako once again. can start to get pretty aggressive in this bot side. We'll have to see who ends up playing for this drag. I would kind of expect it to be the side of PSG. I think it can be quite difficult for Mission to get priority into the Syndra Wukong. It's very strong gank setup, and also the Lucian Nami should start to win out on trades fairly soon.
Okay, massive trade here coming out of Wako. Ellen getting extremely low here already. We'll have the refillable to top up a little bit of that health, but ultimately we're now seeing the power of this Dirk Lucian, who can just kind of at will E forward and find these massive trades.
It's going very, very well for them. Alex gonna maybe find Georgia in the river again. He's heading back to his Grom, and I think Alex... Ooh.
Okay, does find him. Will land the first part of that chain, but Junji okay to walk away. As we see trades bot, it is both heals used as well as barrier from Atlan, so again PSG winning that trade. And it's kind of interesting that they're trying to take these trades, considering it is Dirk to just the longsword.
Yeah, it does feel like there's just no chance he would win those. The Chaos Storm does chunk out Yubao pretty low, but he has, I think, a Corrupting Pot ticking.
As well as that's a Honey Fruit right there, and Mission no mana, so honestly kind of favoring Yubao in that trade specifically, but Dragon now is going to be picked up by PSG, will be given. I think you have to anyway.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking real good for PSG. Like, their top lane is actually ahead in this matchup for once, and they've got the plates bot, and now the Dragon as well, so everything kind of going well, except for maybe mid lane, who Yubao, he does commit some of that priority there to going towards the Dragon. Can collect the mid wave that he has under his tower, but he's falling a little bit far behind. But, 10 CS in the grand scheme of things compared to the Dragons and the plates really isn't the biggest deal.
Yeah, absolutely isn't. So, yeah, all things going pretty well here for the side of PSG. And really, yeah, the top lane matchup is kind of surprising. We saw Driver absolutely dominate the rest of the series, but here we're seeing maybe some of that momentum giving Ozzy what he needs. And actually, it's going to be the tank Gragas this game instead of that rower.
Interesting, okay. I wonder why. I guess maybe it just makes the early lane better or something? Doesn't feel like it's that.
No, I think it's because instead of the Tristana, you now have the Syndra, so you're not really concerned anymore about having that damage. I think that's probably why, and it's nice to just have that front line, a bit harder for Atlan if he ever gets ahead to beat down and get through.
Yeah, I can maybe see it. Maybe you could even see the Liandry's like how Solika was running, because you are up against some pretty beefy tanks here that could be good against. So we'll see kind of what it goes for, though. You
could, but I think with the Barmies, it's likely to just go full tank.
Yeah. Now, Driver is kind of still pushing these in, but definitely hasn't found anywhere near the same sort of lead that he did previously.
Yeah, Mission in a bit of a sea of blue over there in that gold graph as Junji now is going to be looking here. All Out is going to go on, and Driver is trying to find a kill onto Ozzy. Will not find it for now. Ghost is popped. Is he able to get away? Cyclone committed. He will be going down now. Junji picks up his second kill of the game, and things going sort of from bad to worse now for Impunity.
They are, yeah, and 2-0 on Junji is going to be able to hit his Divine extremely early into this game, and that can be very troublesome because, like we saw before, even if in theory Impunity outscale, it's just, can they actually reach that? Impunity, they're not the kind of team that plays clean enough to kind of reach their scaling breakpoints without giving stuff away. And it looks like so far PSG are kind of just getting everything, right? They're winning in the lanes other than mid, and they're able to get the first drag and the first herald. Now, maybe looking for a 4-man dive bot side. Mission has prio.
So culling used, as well as Zeriald, it will be used to clear out the wave. And now Wako does have cleanse available to him, but Mission is on that nice flank. We will be looking, though, for Woody. He does get stunned up. Mission looking for the kill. Will find it on back into that laser, but 3-man stun found from Yubao. Luckily, that gravity field will stun up Wako, so no real follow-up as of yet, but Yubao, low on mana, is still trying to chase. Looks like that'll be all for now, and importantly, a kill is picked up here for the side of Impunity, but it doesn't really garner them much other than that.
Yeah, it was the kill onto the Nami, not onto Wako, so Wako's still going to be able to clean up all the CS after, and actually looks like it's going to be Atlan who's forced to base first, so I wonder if Wako will continue to push. I feel like that might not even be that worth it for the side of Impunity. Like, they invest quite a lot. They use Mission's Flash as well as Alex's And they kind of had to all walk down the map, and I believe there was a mid-wave crash, so I'd be interested to see the gold overall, but I think that was fairly even. And Wako being able to stay on the map here means that can stay for these plates, and this could just be bot tower falling extremely early. So I think PSG in game 5, they're absolutely running away with the game right now.
Yeah, will be the bot tower. Actually, Adelan just jumped forward, kind of hinting, really. I don't know what that was about, but will have to commit the flash. Does luckily escape, but as you said, tower now goes down. Waku picking up that first blood gold on that tower, and again, we're going to see a really, really horrifying Lucian.
Yeah, he's going to be extremely strong this game for sure. First tower falling that early is problematic. 3k gold lead at only 11 minutes, which might be the biggest that PSG's had all series.
You'd have to think so. Looking like Onus maybe is on mission now to find something in this game for Impunity. Did pick up that early kill, as well as has a reasonable CS lead at the moment, as he will be able to pick up this wave that is currently pushing at him. But I don't know, it's going to take Victor a while to get to those item thresholds really required to make anything happen of this.
And he's still not going for the Leandries, even with the tank Gragas coming through. So kind of surprising, to be honest. I feel like it would have gotten a lot of value in these last 3 games. Dealing a bit of damage onto Wako, but the problem is it's quite hard for the Victor poke to actually stick because there is that Nami to just heal the Lucian up. Now later on, obviously, when Victor just gets so much damage, it's less about poke and more just about raw team fighting damage. Certainly will be strong there, but I think, Impunity, they're kind of positioning for this fight, but I don't think they have any business doing so.
Wako looking aggressively. Glacial Prison comes out. Cleanses a little bit late, but ultimately will be able to get away there. 2 ults used. They do pick up the cleanse and flash of Wako, so that's something to look for as this Cloud Dragon does start to spawn.
Alex does tank that up there for Atlan. And it was the culling used, so maybe now Impunity could look for something. I kind of feel like it still should just go the way of PSG, though. They definitely have the better position. Mission is just going to go for a reset. Probably will have his Ludens there, but I mean, it is PSG. They've got their second Dragon. They've got a gold lead. They've gotten the only Herald so far. They're looking extremely good in this game, and even top lane is looking so much better than it did previously. Is the driver going for the Jack show once again?
Will be picked up, so you imagine that gives him a little bit more power here in this isolated 1v1, which is pretty much all we've seen, excluding one, intervention from Junjia. But yeah, dire straits now. Impunity were 2-0 up, now 2-2, and quite far behind, you have to say, this early into game number 5.
Herald is spawning in 2 more minutes, and I think that will probably be used to break this mid tower. Can any plates be picked up mid before 14 minutes? I'd be kind of surprised. Maybe they can get this last one here. Waku's trying to keep the wave in the middle so that he still has threat on to Atlan, but without the culling and without sums, knows that he can't be too aggressive here. It is actually the mandate already completed for Woody before even the Gale Force, which you don't often see.
Yeah, it's, I guess mainly due to that Dirk, but you're not wrong there. And honestly, as Atlan here, if Wako even just looks menacingly at you, you kind of just have to fall off this wave.
Yeah, it was very tough, I think. Especially given that he still seems so far from his mythic. I'm not sure how much gold he has, but wasn't actually... it can't be enough, I wouldn't think.
No, just the Noon Quiver for now. So still roughly 1,200 away now from that mythic, and that's quite a lot of gold considering how this game's going so far. So while Driver was looking like the game, I mean, it did look like Azi's doing better this game, he still managed to find 2 tower plates despite his death early. So does still have a bit of control over this top lane, as we now see the lane assignments swap up a little bit.
Will be Driver coming up against Yubao in that side lane. Currently Yubao is the Ghost and Heal, so looking like the co-op versus AI setup. But it's obviously going to make him very safe in that 1v1. Can't always burn one of those to get out. Junjia.
Ellen taking a lot of damage here. Junjia will find Alex on the side, and decent amount of damage there, but you just see the power of this Lucian. He has the Dirk, he now has the Gale Force, and Ellen, no items to match any of that, and just taking so much damage as soon as Relentless Pursuit is used forward.
Oh, TP actually coming in from Mission?
Yeah, I believe it is, yeah. As They're contesting for something here. There's no...
The Herald.
I mean, Rift Herald, yeah, I guess. Game has been paused. I'm sure we'll find out what that's about soon. But, I mean, looking at how the game looks now, I think Impunity have done a decent job of stopping the bleeding for now. But it does seem like PSG just hold all the cards.
That feels really difficult, I think, to take any fights. So it kind of confuses me why Mission is TPing in. I guess they are just going to play for the Herald. But it is a little bit odd. I mean, maybe they can win some sort of fight here. And it looks like the reason was a player disconnected from the side of PSG. So hopefully that'll get fixed up in not too long. I mean, yeah, Game 5 is looking so much better for PSG right now. I don't think scaling is going to be a realistic win condition for the side of Impunity, especially not with 2 dragons already picked up. Kind of puts you on a timer very early into the game.
Yeah, it definitely does, and I wonder if the sort of hard commit we're seeing towards this Rift Herald is simply because they see that they're just becoming so far behind, and they really need to find something to get them back into this game, especially get some gold onto that Zeri, who is just so far behind. Trying to look for the Rift Herald to possibly look for a tower and just give Zeri what she needs to sort of succeed in this game.
Yeah, might be it. I think Ludens has been completed for Victor from what I remember, but it's also been completed for Syndra. So it's not like they're trying to abuse the mid lane mythic advantage on this Herald. I mean, it's going to be real interesting. I don't think PSG should let them have it. We'll see though, maybe they can just go trade more bot side, but I'm not sure if Impunity can afford to give up any more gold at this point. It kind of feels like they should be the ones making sure they're getting the waves, and the TP committed by Mission is... You know, I think it's more weird just in the context of the series that we've kind of seen, I guess, as a whole, Impunity don't place as much value, I guess, on the side lanes, right? Their TPs are often kind of just used for tempo on the map, but that does allow, you know, the likes of Ubao to push down those side lanes as stuff like the Tristana. And while it's not really going to be an impact here, it's just, I think TP in the mid game can be extremely valuable. And so the way it gets used by Impunity maybe just isn't the best overall.
You'll have to see if it pays off. I mean, if they get the Rift Herald, then I'd say it's probably worth it, just considering the state of the game at the moment. But it is really going to come down to this team fight coming out. You have to imagine that PSG aren't just going to sit back and allow Impunity to take this sort of Rift Herald. They are so much stronger, especially in that AD carry. And yeah, I mean, even their team fighting, right? They've got Wukong, they have the Lucian who can sort of dip and dash within the team fight, as well as the Nami tidal wave. It's going to be really hard for Impunity to pull this off, but they are definitely mechanically solid, so we'll see.
Maybe Driver this game can find something on the Cassante. I honestly feel like it would be kind of surprising, given that this of the 3 Cassante games has been the one where he's got the smallest lead, right? Only has a couple plates and I think is actually down in CS. But maybe this could be the one, right? I think it is a bit easier to play into this comp because it doesn't have the Sejuani for peel. But it's still a Wukong to get through, so it's not the easiest. And I guess moving away from the game for a moment, you know, if Impunity do get swept here and then go down to face, what was it, BYG?
Yeah.
Actually, okay, never mind that. Where we are back in the game. So looking towards this Herald, I don't think this TP is going to allow them to get it. I'd be very, very surprised.
Ozzy has TP, whereas Driver does not as well. So, yeah, weird use to the TP. He's just going to go top. He will get top lane priority, as there's no one matching him at the moment. But, yeah, Rift Herald now started up by Junjia, and I don't know how Impunity could ever contest this. It will just be likely going over to them.
Yes, will be the second Herald picked up, and you think that should just be dropped mid and break this game open. It gives also just a lot more distance for Lucian Nami to chase down on the mid wave, which is very, very important. Wako, you know, with the cleanse, does feel pretty confident playing aggressively.
Yep, Flash almost back up for him as well, so although you don't want to use it as soon as it's off cooldown, it definitely means he can play more aggressively and utilize the lead he's gained for himself.
Now, third dragon, only a minute 24 away. And I have to say, I don't think Impunity are in a position to contest this. I'm not even sure if Zeri's Mythic is going to be completed in time.
Doing moves now, you have to feel like probably close to it, and I think it should be done within the minute.
You would hope so. I mean, it's 16:30 into the game, and there's still no Mythic. maybe after this wave, but he's going to be kind of late on the map. So this third drag is looking more and more like PSG's. And even if the Mythic is completed by Atlan, look how far ahead in items Waku is. He's so strong. Even if you can delay Atlan's base here by a little bit. Okay, he is going to dash over the one recall. So that should be the Mythic completed. But I don't think Impunity can contest. I mean, they... do you give over the third dragon? It always feels so tough to give over the third dragon. So it looks instead like they are going to kind of position to come back on the map. But if this fight goes bad for Impunity, they're almost out of the game, I feel like.
Yeah, it does seem that way, as we are likely to see a fight here over this. Ozzy is top at the moment, but he is walking down. Also has teleport available. Alex going to be spotted out by that pink ward. Man, this is going to be so hard for Impunity to play. They are trying to find a little bit of poke here onto Wako using that Victor laser, but as you pointed out earlier, Nami able to heal that up pretty well. Glacial Prison goes wide, and that is such an important ult for the team fight. That's not going to be available now as Dragon is alive. The 4 members of PSG head down. Aze on the flank. Impunity going to have to be super careful of that, especially the likes of Mission, who isn't quite as mobile as Atlan is.
And Impunity, they have to be very careful here. As soon as this tower...
Stun lands onto Mission. Explosive Cask will be flashed out of, and Wild Growth importantly used. So one ult there traded, but so many high health bars, whereas Driver, so low here, does have teleport available if they wish to continue trying to pursue this fight, but ultimately it is the culling down and Explosive Cask, but no Wild Growth or Glacial Prison available at the moment, as well as Victor Flash was used. Dragon, 3k health. It will likely just be picked up here by PSG, but is Impunity going to look for a fight? Yubel getting really aggressive. Chaos Storm comes out. He has to flash away as Alex now re-engaging onto Aze, who was in the middle of that Chaos Storm, but everyone will walk away all right for now, and it's just the Dragon given over to PSG for nothing in return.
3 dragons and no trade coming in from Impunity, and I think it's looking very rough now for Impunity. You're going to have to contest this 4th dragon.
Wako. Ooh.
That should be mid-tower going down, though, you'd have to feel. And they're going to have to contest this next dragon from a significant deficit, and without even really completing their core items. So it's going to be so difficult for them. Yubao, he's working towards the Void Staff, which I really like. There's so much magic resistance coming in already. That does mean that Wako and Jinjia, who both find themselves with quite a lot of gold, are just going to be able to continue to deal lots of damage in these team fights.
Helen posturing extremely aggressively, considering it is just a straight 1v1 here.
The clone does get engaged on a little bit, and looks like Wako's going to reset. Does he complete 2 items here? Must be pretty close, I think.
Wouldn't be surprised to see it. Rapid Fire Cannon, not the most expensive of items, as he is sitting in base, so we'll likely see that completed, you have to feel. Driver finding a bit of poke. Yeah, so now this is the stage of the game where Zeri almost cannot play, because any chance that ease up, as we see Yubao actually finding a nice trade onto Mission, but that'll be all. But as I was saying, at this stage, every mid-wave, Lucian with that Nami buff will just be able to sort of E-forward and use the Rapid Fire Cannon to get off so much damage against Atlan.
Oh, maybe a yoink? Oh, so close. He didn't have vision of it, so I admire the attempt. That was pretty close, actually. Now, mid-tower does look like it's in dire straits here. Most likely will just be picked up here by Wako, and more gold going over to this Lucian. Does feel very good, and with that mid lane completely opened up, as well as the rapid fire completed, like you said, Atlan has to be very careful how far he walks up to these waves. And also that tower being knocked down ahead of the 4th drag means that there's going to be a lot of, kind of vision control that can now be established for PSG. And you really don't want to have to give this one over, but are you ready to fight? You kind of just don't have a choice. You have to contest as Impunity.
I think you need Victor to pick up Shadow Flame to stand any kind of chance in this next fight, and he is admittedly close. I believe it's 700 gold needed to finish after getting the 2 components, so should be able to get that within 2 minutes, but We'll have to wait and see, but without Shadow Flame, it seems almost like an impossibility. You do have Warmogs now on your Sejuani, so any poke landed onto her will be able to be sustained back up, which I think is really important, especially against the likes of Yubao and Wako, who are just trying to find as much damage, sort of poke damage, prior to these objectives.
And Gia, he's trying to get a little aggressive here. They are starting to establish some of this topside control. I wonder, do they have time to knock down the top tier 1 before the 4th dragon?
Wako has to be careful here.
He's just getting a little bit of first strike gold for himself. Now it looks like Yubao is going to probably pressure this top tier 1. I don't think they actually have time to break it before setting up for the drag. Oh, Nature.
Okay, Nature really in trouble. He does go down. There was Wildgrove as well as Flash committed, and he will be back up for this dragon fight with the Wildgrowth, but really importantly, no Flash now for the Lulu.
Driver, there's a lot of trading going on. Driver, he kind of needs to run, I think. Hasn't popped the Ghost
Woody
yet.
and Junjie is going to get here. Can they find him? Ghost will be used. Nice juke of that explosive cast. Should have his way out, and not the worst trade. Explosive cast shouldn't be available for the Dragon, but I guess it's important to know that Ghost also not up anymore.
Yeah, I think not having the Ghost is a really big deal because it's hard enough already to get onto the Lucian. Yubao, though, needs to be careful.
Okay, looking for Yubao. Chaos Storm used early and Teleport committed now. Will they follow it up? It does look like Yubao will get extremely low, but not quite out just yet. There was Flash now used by Yubao as well as Teleport for Azi. Now, all I guess Impunity have to do is recall here, head towards the Dragon. You don't want to give over the soul, and Azi will have to just walk down there from this top lane.
Yeah, and I think this should just go to PSG. I don't think Impunity have any chance of contesting without the Chaos Storm. But maybe they're just going to try. Yeah, the TP's come through. You kind of have no choice but to contest this 4th drag. I have to feel, though, it should be such a free teamfight win for PSG as long as they play it well.
Yeah, Syndra, importantly, if she does get stunned up at all, she will likely just go down, and she finds a nice stun there onto Atlan in the back line, but no Flash available now for Syndra after that. But importantly, Glacial Prison yet to be up as Driver finds his way onto Junjie. Nice little trade. This is a tough little skirmish. Recall, just falling back, sorry, for Alex to heal up with this Warmogs. Should be okay to turn around. Maybe delay until those ults on your Victor and Sejuani are back up. I feel like that's your best chance, but Azi might not allow it as he walks around the bot here. Will be spotted out with that trinket, disabling that pink ward. Stun lands onto Driver, not the ideal target. Wako finding huge damage onto Mission, will not go down yet as Atlan goes crazy. Is he going to be able to find any kills? Not just yet. Wildgrove used onto Driver as Dragon now 3k health. It might come down to a smite fight even. It is low, it is resetting however. It's Sejuani going down first, targeting the Dragon. It will be secured now from PSG, and Impunity are in shambles. Wako gets all out on, he is able to get over the wall, and it will be also Driver going down. Now Mission, so low from before. Flash body slam disables him from getting away on that blast cone. It's a 3-for-0. Dragon Soul picked up from PSG, and they're looking to reverse sweep.
It is, I think. That's probably going to be it for Impunity in this game. Maybe even the Baron gets picked up here as well. And once again, for the second day in a row, it's looking like a reverse sweep. And that's insane, right? You got to feel so bad for Impunity. They started the series off so well, but just can't really find the same impact in these later games. And PSG really showing their kind of poise, their class as a team, right? Despite being this far down in the series and being very far behind in some of the games, managed to turn it all around. As we'll take a look at the replay, I think real nice damage from Wako. Deals so much onto Mission, and then Aja did a great job of zoning them out, right? Ults them into the choke and then just holds them with the barrel. And that buys the rest of PSG a lot of time, just kind of posture around. And then Aja just, really good job of just consistently holding this choke. And that allows PSG, the other members, to get more aggressive. Honestly, just hero play, I think, all through and through by Aja. Now, the kite back was good, but we see Mission, he tried to get out. But it's just so low from the very start of the fight.
Oh,
yeah, Arju. He's really turned it around on the Gragas.
a lot of happy faces here from the coaching staff of PSG as Baron was picked up as well as Dragon Soul. It's a 6k gold lead in favor of PSG, and you have to feel like they have all the tools here to be able to close out this game. Maybe not immediately, but certainly shouldn't take too long. What do you do here? Impunity, backs against the walls. Roles are reversed now. You have to find something. Mission perhaps looking for something here in this little bush. Gee, tower goes down bot. No one picks it up, but the shutdown gold on that will be nice.
Yeah, I think Impunity, you try and delay this Baron as much as possible, but feel like you're going to be giving up at least your tier 2s. If you can hold your base, maybe you buy some time to scale, but it feels so hard, right? Because no matter what, the Elder Dragon's in 3.5 minutes, and you don't really have a choice about contesting that one either.
Yeah, it could be a potential win con, I guess, if Alex can perhaps find a steal, or if there is a team fight won somehow from Impunity. But until then, you're right, damage control is pretty much the name of the game, trying to not lose all of these towers. And honestly, this game compared to the last two, it's likely they won't lose as much as before because there isn't that Tristana threat on the side lanes. But again, massive amounts of damage found on the mission. Driver has a nice flank here. Wako, no flash available. Driver will get onto him. All out hasn't been used yet, but should be used in the near future. He goes all out now. Wako getting so low is going to be shut down now by Driver as Ubel trying to find something on the side. Ozzy in the middle of 3. Will he be able to find something? So far, it is Driver going down. It's 2 for 1 in favor of PSG, but health bars are okay here for Impunity as Ozzy re-engaging. Ubel quite low. Any misstep? It's Alan that missteps. He gets found by the stun, is able to flash away and survive for now. Honestly, this team fight, while it is going in the favor of PSG, it has delayed this Baron. There's only one more minion wave available for Baron now. And it's not the worst outcome, you don't have to think.
They still, they managed to keep their base alive, at least for now. But they lose 2 towers, and that's an even bigger gold advantage that goes the way of PSG. And it's really looking like on this upcoming drag, in just 2 more minutes, it should be just so favored for PSG. And I mean, I guess, maybe Atlan can get towards the Navori in time. I'm not sure if he can.
No, almost certainly not.
But we'll see what actually ended up unfolding. I think Wako got a bit too aggressive. Actually dashed forward and lost quite a bit of health, I think, to Mission. Not sure. Okay, it was also the tower, actually. And then Driver found a really nice TP flank there with the Ghost as well. Did get on him. And also nice, I think, to hold it all out for so long. Mission did a lot of damage in this fight before going down on the U-bow as well. But with Wako dead, there's not that much consistent damage left. There still is, quite a lot of tanks, so Impunity, they can't really end up taking anyone out, but they did a good job, I guess, to just make sure the game doesn't end straight up right then. But now only a minute on the next Elder, and it's so hard for Impunity.
Yeah, that's right. No Ghost now for Driver, and Flash is now back up from Wako. So finding him last fight was possible kind of because the Flash wasn't available, but now it is, and you don't have the Ghost for Cassante. I don't know how you play this fight, although Driver sitting in this top lane bush, maybe looking for something here. 55 seconds, not much time to play with.
Well, Driver, he's got a really good flank again. Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
Managed to avoid all the vision. The widest flank of the century. But is it going to make enough of a difference? I'm not sure, because Wako has flash this time.
Yeah, but if you can get him through a wall, that Flash might not be able to do much at all. But Ubel here, it looks like he'll be the target. Is going to try to get away, but here he is finding Driver. All out use. Ubel goes down. It's now a 4v5 as we hit. Actually, no, it's not. Nature goes down on the backside. Junji now getting fought, but Nature just gets caught out. So the pick doesn't mean all that much. Obviously, Ubel perhaps more influential. But I want to see what happened to Nature. What a disaster.
I think he just got Syndra ulted, honestly, and went down without even wild growthing. Probably got executed by the Syndra ult passive. You get it 100 stacks now.
Talking about executions.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way they can contest it, but they're going to try.
Yeah, Atlan, no ult, so this series is going to be so weak. Glacial Prison will find the cleanse of Wako. Mission now joining the fray. Is going to get Flash Cyclone. 2-man from Junjia as we see Driver doing his best to dissuade any more follow-up. Is going to stop them for now. And importantly, Mission does have teleport, so will be able to rejoin his team, as well as Alex is going to have Mission getting so low, recalling on that ward, but culling now down, and Dragon started by Junjia. Mission's going to have to recall and commit that teleport to getting back here. Nature's so low again. Only just got back into the fray of things. Atlan not going to have ult. It feels like this Dragon is likely to go down. And with that, it feels like there's not much chance left for Impunity at all.
They're going to try something,
Alex trying to get in there for a steal, but Ozzy doing a great job of just guarding him as Mission gets in there, is going to be smited away from Junjia as we see Alex executed. Any damage now is going to pretty much kill Nature. Mission's going to go down, Driver's going to go down, everyone except Atlan will go down, and this will be the game. I have to think anyway, PSG looking so dominating. Actually, Ubel finds Atlan with the flash stun. Game will be over here. It is a second reverse sweep. PSG has done it. They've shown us wrong that it's not going to be a 3-0, and they're advancing to take on CFO.
I just can't believe this has happened 2 days in a row. The reverse sweep comes through, and PSG, they look so good in the last 3 games. And wow, I mean, this is going to be such an exciting series for PSG versus CFO. Maybe we'll see a reverse sweep in that one too, who knows? But finally, after 32 minutes and 5 games later, it is PSG that do pick up the series in such a hard-fought battle up against Impunity.
What a series.
Yeah.
What a series. I'm exhausted personally, but we got there. It is going to be PSG, as you said, taking on CFO, and unfortunately, honestly, I think that was the best sort of showing we've seen against PSG at all. But Impunity couldn't quite get across the line on a 3rd game, and I mean, we have to take a look at some of those drafts, you have to think, but ultimately they do go down. We'll be facing, I believe it is Beyond on the Sunday, so they're definitely not out of the playoffs yet, but I don't know, my heart throbs for them.
For sure, they have their second chance, and I think, you know, given the level of play that they showed against PSG in games 1 and 2, you have to feel like they're still a pretty strong contender in this. It's really, do you see game 1 as 2 as, you know, PSG underperforming, maybe leaving up stuff like the Vi that shouldn't, or do you see that more as like Impunity's true level? It's kind of hard to say because maybe those are wins that just shouldn't really happen. It's kind of off the back of, you know, the Vi, which kind of honestly makes any comp look good these days. So we'll have to see, I guess, a bit more data on Impunity in a way when they go up against some of the other teams there. But I mean, honestly, it was just quite well played, I feel like, from both teams. You know, ultimately it is a 3-2, and it was very exciting. There were a lot of really great moments pretty much all throughout the series. One thing that I maybe want to bring up is actually the